And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100% agree. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Welcome to the Weighing In podcast, where my man is finally back from traveling all over the nation, trying to pick up little scraps here and there. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but he is back and we're ready to get going. We got a ton of fight announcements, all kinds of things that are going on. How you feeling? A little hungover, a little jet lag, or no? You're Texas bound and ready to go.
No,
Nope.
I'm not
That's all we
hungover
get.
at all.
Nope.
Really,
Nope.
what it comes.
Nope.
No. What it came down
Nope.
to was, I landed in California. I was like, man, I already want to go home. I was already ready to get out. Oh man, it was great. But no, it was good to see some old friends and stuff. I had to tie up some loose ends and got in late last night around midnight. Flights were all canceled, delayed. I got on the plane. Everyone was on, getting ready to close the doors, and they say, "Oh, wait, sorry guys, we actually need to switch you guys to another plane." So there's a plane in gate C7, which just so happens to be 4 terminals over. Go right ahead, everyone hop off, walk all the way across the airport, get on this almost basically the same exact plane. And that took another I'd say that took about another hour and a half easily. And yeah, so we didn't get into California until about midnight, a little over midnight. And then yesterday coming back, wasn't too bad, a couple little delays here and there, but just a shit show. Right now, Delta's kind of making me look stupid because I've been talking everybody into joining Delta. Join Delta. And man, they've canceled flights just as of recently. I'm getting nothing but canceled flights, delayed flights, shifting me and moving me from one flight to another and going the opposite direction. Dude. That's what pissed me off. Like I had a flight to Salt Lake to San Jose. It's like you're maybe total about a 6 hour, 6 hour, travel time. But instead, they canceled that flight, and they transferred my flight over to fucking Atlanta, going 2.5 hours the other way, and then turning around and going all the way across the country to get back to San Jose, fucking 5 hours. I mean, the whole thing, you have an hour and a half, 2 hour layover in Atlanta. It's like, man, I booked that flight for a reason. I wanted to get there by a certain time. Just, it's annoying. It is what it is. All that bailout money still can't have flights on time.
This is you. Oh, you're always trying to tell me, oh, no, you need to switch over to Delta and stuff. And then I'll have American who I fly all the time. And I was in Ireland and they fucking canceled my flight. So I was stuck there, right? So it was your man Fish, who is a Delta guy. He sets me up with a flight it'll fly straight from Dublin to Atlanta and then Atlanta to where I need to go. And sure enough, I get into frickin' Atlanta and they canceled my flight. I go, yeah, they're on way better. Well, at least I'm on home turf, I guess. I can drive.
What's that? A couple hours away, right? 2 hours?
3 hours.
3 hours.
My wife had to come down and get me.
Yep.
Was 6 hours of driving for her.
Wasn't that your anniversary, or that was New Year's Eve?
That was New Year's Eve.
I think it was New Year's Eve, right? Yeah, because it was from. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Figures.
Yeah.
Lovely. It was a lot of fun.
Lovely.
No. New Year's Eve was from New York.
From New
York. I was stuck at LaGuardia. That was another fun one. Yeah. Can't win.
John, do me a favor before we get into the fights. Will you just reduce your gain by like half an inch on there on that little dial?
Half an inch.
Yeah.
How's that? Better?
I was gonna make a joke. We'll roll with it at the show, and then I'll help you go further if we need to do more. I'll do it after.
You want more?
It sounds better. No, it's
you
good.
Sure?
Let's roll with it.
Because I can actually turn that knob more.
I don't know. Can you give more? I mean, that's not what she said.
I wasn't giving more. I'm giving a lot less. I'm cutting inches off right now. Okay.
Man,
this is not gaining. I'm not gaining. I'm losing right now.
You know what's crazy to me, right, John, is that we like all this traveling, all this thing. Man, the airlines are some of the biggest businesses. They got the most money in this whole bailout bullshit,
and they lie flights. Like a son of a bitch.
It's killing me.
They sit there and go, "Oh, we have mechanical difficulty." Sure, you do. Yeah, I'm looking at the plane. No one's working on it, right? But it's got Technical difficulty. Uh-huh. That's why I'm going to sit here for another 8 hours. Yep.
No. It's always interesting. All right, hey, but you know what? Let's go ahead and start this podcast
of the business.
Let's start this podcast off with some good-hearted news. We got a fight this weekend, man. We got a good fight. It's a heavyweight fight going on this weekend. I can't wait, man. You got Tom Aspinall's return. I'm high on Tom Aspinall. I love him. I think he's a fantastic fighter. Coming off the knee injury, this is his first fight back against Marcin Tybura. What do you think? What do you think of this fight?
First off, I agree with you. I'm high on Tom Aspinall. I think he's really a talented fighter. He's carrying a lot of weight as far as not physically on his shoulders, based upon, being the heavyweight. If you're looking at anyone from England, they've got some great fighters coming out of England, but he's the one carrying like the mantle of, this is the next guy. This is the guy you got to watch. So that's not easy. And look, I'm just being honest. The guy he's going up against, Marcin Tybura, does not get the credit he deserves for being as tough and nasty of a fighter as he is. He can beat anybody on any given day. He's got a gas tank, which in the heavyweights can go a long way. He's got skill on the ground. He's got some good stand-up. He will take shots. So he matches up well with Aspinall. I think Aspinall is the more complete, younger fighter, the one you look at to say, yeah, he should win it. But the UFC's not giving him an easy go on his comeback. He had that, knee injury against Curtis Blades early in the first round of the fight. Shit happens. But this is not an easy, here, we're going to give you a fight. And it's also you're the main event. You're carrying the weight again. Not easy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, your first fight back, main event. I mean, you got the hometown crowd behind you. There's a lot of weight carrying on the shoulders, like you said. I think, though, that this is a comeback fight. This is kind of a tailor-made fight for him to shine, for him to get the cobwebs off, for him to do all the things that he needs to do. He needs to get this fight to the ground, on the feet. Don't get me wrong. He can stand with them a little bit, but let's not make it a focus. Let's threaten the big shot.
Position on the ground.
Utilize the speed, because he's going to be the faster fighter. He's going to utilize the speed with the big, fast shots. Get in, get to the clinch, try and hang on him, try and drag on him, try to lift the leg. Try to take away the flexibility of Marcin Tybura. What you want to do is you want to lift.
I never lift a lot. Being flexible, but
exactly.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
He wants to. I should have said you should test the flexibility. So what he wants to do is he wants to hike that. He's going to want to hike that single leg up high and see if Tybura can actually treetop it. See if he can be flexible there. I think that's one of the most underutilized takedowns in the game. Is snatching that single and just getting right to the treetop. If you can do that, especially in those heavier weight classes, the light heavyweight and the heavyweights, there's not a lot of balance there. There's not a lot of flexibility there, and let's start working on that. And I think that Tom Aspinall has all those little attributes that he can bring to the fight that will test Tybura in the areas of the wrestling, the speed, the striking will be there, but he just can't settle in on the feet. He's got to make it very quick. Close the distance, fight him in a phone booth, get heavy on the legs, either lock the hands and lift. I wouldn't recommend lifting. Like I said, I'm leaning more towards the single leg and moving him around, John, making him balance on one foot, make it easier for him to get the takedown. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right. And it's a matter of you don't want to be in that position. I look at the way that Tom Aspinall, if you remember when he fought Andre, Arlovsky, stayed on the feet for a while, then, finally took him to the ground, boom, done. And you go, hello, dude. Why are you going to sit in and play with these guys that all of them have power, all of them can hit? You don't want to be in that range where you can get hurt by someone. And so with Tybura, I look at in the top position, both guys can damage the other. I think that Aspinall is better off of his back than Tybura on the ground, but you don't want to be the guy who's on your back in this. You got to be in the top position. And I think that you can take a lot of what Tybura brings to the fight away from him by taking the fight to the ground early and just doing damage. It doesn't have to be that you're doing anything that's going to end up stopping the fight, but just whittle him down, wear him out, get it to the point where he's second doubting what he can do in this fight. And all of a sudden that takedown in the second round comes again and things start to really flow your way.
We're going to see how comfortable he is right off the bat on his movement. He's going to have a lot of movement left to right. Is he going to throw a kick with it, with his knee? We're going to see, because fighters mentally, though, John, you know this, that first initial hard contact, don't get me wrong, he's been sparring, he's been doing it, but it's all padded with knee pads, with shin guards. Like, you get it out of the way, you feel it, but then when you get in the fight, you're like, okay, now there's no knee pads, now there's no shin guards.
There's no little safety strap at all.
Yeah,
nothing.
He's going to have to get through that little barrier, I think, in that first 2.5, 3 minutes. He's going to have to, and I'd recommend he get it out of the way as soon as possible. Just to be honest, go out there, throw a kick right away, go out there, check a kick right away, and just get right into the mix of the fight. If he starts trying to pussyfoot around on the outside, he starts mentally wearing on you, going like, okay, that one kind of hurt a little bit. Oh, like just get out there, pull the Band-Aid off, and let it fly, buddy. And I'm looking forward to it, man, because I think he's got such potential. I'm like I said, I know he's not from the U.S. I know he's from the UK. Can't hold it against him. That's where he was born. Okay, but bottom line is, I got a lot of high expectations for the young man. I'm looking forward to watching him fight.
Yeah, there's nothing to hold back, and you're looking at him. He's got some great skills. He very much reminds me. He looks in a certain way and reminds me of Frank Mir. It's just that I think he's even better on the feet than Frank Mir.
Oh yeah, for sure he is. For sure he is. I mean, Frank started getting better towards the end of his career. He started getting better on there, but then by then he But at the end of his career, he was just a little. Then he started slowing down. He was never a fast fighter. Frank was never a fast fighter, but man, he was nasty on the ground, especially early in his career. He was aggressive.
Well, you talk about people that hurt people on the ground. Frank Mir was definitely one of them, man.
It's almost like he got pleasure out of it.
I think he did.
He did.
Hold on. Frank, and Frank's a very intellectual guy. I love Frank, and I spent a lot of time with him in a lot of different places, man. And he is absolutely that guy that, it's almost that whole proof thing, because I can tell you back long ago the Gracies were great. When you ever watch the Gracie in action tapes?
No,
you never watched any of those. Oh my God, they were great because you could watch the tape, and it was always they would sit there, and it's Horion is like narrating it. And he says, so the Gracie practitioner, he takes the man to the ground and simply puts him away with the choke. And so we asked the man again, do you believe? And this is exactly what they would say to you. Hey, we want you to fight so and so. He's coming into the school. And they would sit there and say, don't hurt him. Just take him down, arm bar, choke, just nice submission. Okay. And they would go to the guy afterwards and say, now do you believe, right? And the guy goes, oh yeah. He says, do you want to try again? And the guy says, yeah, I'll try one more time. And that was disrespect, because it's not, oh no, you should never have tried again. So now they'll go to you and go, hurt him. Just get up, mount him, and just start beating him up. So that's, I think it was Frank Mir was that guy that was in the cage. He was very similar in that, here, I'm going to put you in this, tap. Oh, you don't want to tap. And he would just tear it off. Yeah, and he was strong, so.
Yeah. The Tim Sylvia one was the biggest one for me. I mean, it broke at the forearm, which was very impressive.
Well, he used, there was a couple of factors in that. Tim actually did pull his elbow past the hip junction.
Yeah.
But Frank was so strong and had a metal Muay Thai cup, and that was a fulcrum on those bones. And he was so strong that he used that fulcrum and just snapped his arm. So. Yeah.
I don't understand why any fighter would ever use a different cup than a metal, like a Muay Thai cup. I just don't get it.
Okay, what you used to wear a Muay Thai cup, I know. Okay, and and there's all these other new ones that are out there, and people go, "Oh, it's not as comfortable. It's not as comfortable." It's not about comfort.
No, it's
about not getting your fucking nuts smashed. It's like a Muay Thai cup worked. Okay. If you go back and you watch, what was it, UFC 6, that was from Casper, Wyoming, and they had the super fight between Dan Severn, who had just won the tournament number 5, and Ken Shamrock, who had fought in 5 against Hoist, and Hoist was now out, so they do that super fight, and Dan goes and he gets himself in a guillotine, and he goes. At the time you could hit someone in the nuts. Well, Ken always wore a Muay Thai cup, and you go back and watch, and you'll see Dan. he tries to uppercut him with a right hand to the nuts, and you see him all of a sudden his hand goes, just like, oh shit. Yeah, he hit that thing perfect. That was it. End of the fight. He tapped out.
Oh, really? I don't recall that one. I don't recall. He hit him to the cup.
Yep, hit him to the cup to try to break the guillotine. That that just crushed his hand, and so he's tapping out. I'm done. I'm getting choked. I broke my hand. Can't take it.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like every time I've been kicked in the groin with the steel cup on, I felt like it did more damage to my opponent than it did me. I mean, like it hurts a little bit. Like you'll get like a little bit of a shift,
a little shift, yeah,
kind of a push into the pelvis bone,
but it doesn't crush anything.
No, it doesn't. Nope. I mean, remember some of the guys that wear the 3 sizes too big. What, Shoney Carter? I mean, who knows? Maybe he was packing. Maybe he was packing the heat he was packing. You never know.
He was Mr. International.
He was.
If you're Mr. International, there's got to be a reason.
He was a salesman. He was the first like real guy that came out to be a salesman.
He was a showman.
A showman, sorry, not a salesman. He
was a pimp.
Yeah.
He was great. He would come out, man, dressed to the fucking tens, have women on both arms. Mr. International. He was great.
Give me another guy who was a showman before that. Chemo. Chemo was a showman with the cross. Walked out.
Did the cross thing, walking out.
Yeah, give me somebody else. Who else? Who else was a showman during that time? Who were the first showmen? Shoney Carter. There was Chemo.
Chemo came out with the cross. That was a big thing, and then Joe Son copied it because he was singing and look douche. Well, we don't even have to go there.
Didn't he get arrested for?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah, right. He got arrested for.
I just had someone, they tried to contact me. They wanted to do it. They're doing a documentary, and they wanted me to be on their documentary for. I said no.
For Joe
Son was. Oh yeah, I figured Joe Son became famous for like Austin Powers.
Mm-hmm.
He was, in the Austin Powers movies as the lethal, bad guy kind of thing with the hat.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe Son was arrested off of a DNA. There was a brutal gang rape, and he got arrested off of that. He was sent to prison off of that, and then he was killed in prison.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I thought he got arrested for something along those lines.
No idea how to spell the name, and you guys are only using the last name. So
his name is Jay. That's him right there.
Far left.
Second down. Second down right there.
There he is.
That's him in getting sentenced. Yep.
Damn, that's crazy, man. It's just nuts to think like what some people do.
Oh, geez, you think about it.
Nah. All right, well, hey, let's get back to the fights. We went a little off track.
Get back to actual good stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Molly McCann. Molly McCann taking on Julia Storenko. That's a tough fight. That's Storenko's a good fighter. Molly McCann's a good fighter. She's really come a long ways. Matchup wise, I look at this as a good fight for Molly McCann. Molly does well with people that like to come after her, stand up with her, and that she can take to the ground and use her ground and pound ability, because she actually does well with ground and pound.
If Stoliarenko, though, tries to get this fight to the ground, is able to get it to the ground and get to the top position, Molly will have some problems. But I think the two of them are going to end up duking it out. I also think that Molly she finds a way to have success in the UK when she fights in London.
And that's exactly the whole point. Everyone's different, and you get ones that they shine under being at home in front of their fans, and she's one of the ones that she shines when she goes out there. She uses that, and so I look at that's one of the advantages that she has in this matchup is every time I'm watching her fight, usually in the UK, man, she's doing a great job. So good matchup. Either lady can win, but I think Molly does have the advantage.
All right, next fight.
Andre Feely coming off some nice fights against Nathaniel Wood. Good matchup in the featherweight division. Andre Feely is one of those guys when you look at him, man. He's got all. He's fast. He's long, lanky, as you talk about. He's got a good ground game. He's got good wrestling. He's got the full toolbox.
Got power.
Yeah, I mean he can swat.
He's got power in his punches. Yeah.
He does have, he has been knocked out because of that power, in the fact that sometimes he starts to rely on it and he opens up and leaves himself open. But Nathaniel Wood, solid fighter, super solid, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And so this is one of those ones, if Andre makes the big mistake, you can see Nathaniel Wood, taking advantage of it and getting the win. If not, I see Andre Fili having a good night against Nathaniel Wood.
No, I agree. I think Fili, he's got all the intangibles. The thing with Fili, though, is I feel like, maybe I'm wrong. John, maybe we could talk about this for a sec. In his younger career, I just don't think that he took it as serious as he should have.
I agree with you.
Because he was so damn good. And at that time,
because it was so easy for him.
Had he taken it, yeah. I feel like he was a missed opportunity. He was one of the guys that just, the sky was the limit, and he just didn't, because that was the Chad Mendes, Uriah and all the guys that came out of there. They were all on a high.
Fighting there. Even Danny Castillo was still fighting at that time. And
exactly, and they were all just getting better together.
But do me a favor, pull up Andre Fili's record there, Dave. And the one thing you want to see is take a look at what he's been doing in these last couple, because this is, I look at it the same way. You can take a look, and he's got this. He lost to Bryce Mitchell on a decision. Okay, but it was a good fight. He fought well. He had the eye poke with Pineda. That stuff happened. The Brito fight, again, he gets stuck in a position where he starts to sling. He can be put out. But the win against Bill Algeo, look, I think Bill Algeo is a hell of a fighter.
Yeah,
he is solid. He's difficult to deal with. He's kind of got the Wonder Boy karate style of blading himself and the stand up and everything. And if you go back and watch that fight, man, Andre Fili really took Bill out of his game, took him apart in that fight. But he's had that whole thing for a long time now of win one, lose one, win one, lose one. And he's got to get himself back into saying, hey, I commit myself to this sport. I'm committing myself to the gym, and let me make a run, because he's got the talent to make that run.
Like I said, if you scroll down a little bit more there, I can hear that thunder, buddy.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I can hear it, just the rumbling.
It's been ripping.
I mean, but if you look at some of the guys he's lost to, right? He's lost to Yair. Yeah. He's lost to Yair, who was just fought for the title. It was the interim champ. Lost to Calvin Cater. Lost to Michael Johnson. Lost to Max Holloway. I mean, he's lost to good guys. And that was earlier in his career in 2014, 2015, all the way up to 2018, 2019. You scroll up a little bit more for me there. There you go. And then he beats Miles Jury. Miles Jury's a tough fighter. Good on the feet, great on the ground.
Miles Jury's talented.
You're going the wrong way, buddy. The other way, sorry.
Okay.
That was me. That was my fault. He beats Artem Lobov, beats Dennis Bermudez,
Charles
who was
Jourdain,
a tough fighter.
Who was a hell of a fighder.
Hell of a fighter. And that's just in 2020 he beat Charles Jourdain.
Yeah.
So I feel like early in his career, I don't know what was going on, but he had his not memory, but he just had lapses in his thinking of how to fight, or to just get the win, and went out there, I think, to be entertaining. A little bit of almost like how Chandler kind of is. Throw caution to the wind, fight hard, fight aggressive, be a fan favorite. But that only gets you so far. And the difference between what Chandler's doing now and what he's doing, what he did back then, is that Chandler's already kind of established himself with Bellator situation and being the champ, and then going over there and then being right off the bat going, hey, I want to fight your best guys. Whereas with Fili, he actually is building himself up in the promotion. You can't afford to do that. You're building yourself up and then take losses lower down when you're building yourself up. You've got to win, then get up to what Justin Gaethje is. Get to that level of Justin Gaethje, and then put on the exciting fights. Give the fans what they want, because then that's when they're going to keep you in that top 3, top 4, top 5. I mean, Chandler hasn't dropped the shit. He's not even out of the top 5 yet. And so it's what is he, 2 and 4?
2 and 3.
He's number 5, I think, right now, right? Yeah, he's 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
And he's not out of the top. That's crazy. 5. He's not out of the top 5, right?
No, but okay. But
so
you gotta,
that lets you.
But like you said, and I'll give it to, who has he fought? Charles Oliveira, Dan Hooker.
Yeah.
Right? Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier.
All fucking animals.
All studs.
All animals. All of them.
Yep.
Every single one of them, all studs. No, I agree. But with Fili, right, he's trying to build himself up, And then he takes a loss because he was trying to be entertaining. Like I said, almost like he wasn't taking it serious. I'll be back. I got this. It just happened. It was a mistake. I look at him like, look at the guys. He lost Youssef. He's lost to Bryce Mitchell. He lost to Brito. Like he's lost to some of the best guys in the division. So I'm looking for him. How old is he, by the way?
He's like 31.
33. So he's got 2 more years. I think he's got 2 more solid, maybe even 3 if he can stay without getting knocked out too many times. But I'm telling you right now, if he can stay on a good run, I'd like to see him make some moves, man, because he's fun to watch. He just gotta tighten things up a little bit, and I like him a lot, man. He's a fun fighter, and he seems like a really good kid. So good on him. Hopefully we see him get the win.
He is.
Next fight, buddy.
Let's go. This is the one. This is the podcast Dave special. Paul Craig going up against Andre Muniz at middleweight, though. At middleweight. Paul Craig not at light heavyweight, at middleweight. What do you think that's going to do as far as one thing that he really didn't have was speed?
Wow.
And he's going down in weight. What do you think?
Wow.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
He's a big dude.
He's not that big.
What?
Oh, he's pretty.
Not light heavyweight.
Are you fucking kidding me? I've stood
He's
next to him, man.
6'3"
He
at
is
least.
big. He's a big guy.
He's not beefy.
Bro, have you not seen his legs? His fucking legs and his ass are like the size. They're fucking enormous. He's a big
6'4".
guy. And then at 35 years old, he's making that cut. Oof. Is his name really the Bear Jew?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I never knew that.
Don't you remember? Don't you remember what's it? God damn it! It's the Quentin Tarantino movie. The one with Brad Pitt and it was World War II. Shit, I can't think of the name of it.
Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards. Thank you. Yeah. Remember that with he was the Bear Jew.
Yes.
That's where he got it.
Yes. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Jeez, man. Look, he need like in every fight that he's ever going to be in, he needs to get the fight to the ground. That's it's like he just need. I don't even know how to explain
Muniz
it.
is good on the ground too, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Craig Paul. I'm gonna go Paul Craig.
Yeah.
Paul Craig.
Craig Paul. But if I would have told you, okay, I'll give you Jacare or Muniz submission, who would you have taken? You know,
I'm thinking Jacare.
Of course.
But look at the age, though. Look, it depends on what I took him at. Do I take it when
Jacare's
on his way out the door?
Jacare was, let's say, 36, 37 years old when they fought.
Mm-hmm.
When Muniz broke his arm. Muniz, what's Muniz's age now? I want to say he's 29, 30.
Yeah, probably somewhere around there. He's a baby. He's up at the top. You can just click on his.
Yeah. He's just
right there.
Yeah. Jeez, Dave. Jeez.
I know. I was thinking. I thought they put it in the record.
33.
He's 33, John.
He's older than I thought.
Jeez.
He's older than I thought too. Yeah. And he's coming
He's
off
a good-looking
loss.
son of a bitch. I'm a little jealous. He's a good-looking son of a bitch. Scroll down. Who was his fight to? He gassed out. I remember that.
Oh,
that was against Brandon.
Sorry about
Brendan Allen.
Ah, that's right.
Brendan Allen had a great.
He got tired. He got tired, and then Allen got to his back and choked him. That's right. Yeah. Gosh, man, John, we watched so many fights. I don't know how you fucking
Too many
keep it all together. Remember this
Too many.
shit. Dude, really? Oh man, we got Nate Diaz. He's gonna be coming up here pretty soon in Dallas. He'll be here.
You're going, right?
I think so. I'm gonna make a couple.
You gotta
calls.
go.
I know. I'm gonna
tell you what.
in the
If
ring
you
right
find a
after,
place
call
for
out
tickets,
Jake
I'll
Paul.
fly out there and go with you.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold you to it. But you're gonna have to hold me back, man. I'm gonna jump in that ring and call out Jake Paul right after. John. Oh,
Tell him you'll take the 10 million for PFL.
bro, it's gonna be easy.
That's it.
I'd smoke him. Wouldn't even be close. I'm too fast.
Oh, he's off.
John. Oh man, it's gonna be great. Okay, but how do you see the Paul Craig fight against Muniz? How do you see it happening?
I think it's too much weight for Paul Craig to come down. You're talking about a 20-pound drop.
Yeah,
I don't like that. I think it's crazy. I think the speed does not work for you. It works against you. Andre Muniz is pretty good on his feet. Paul Craig is not. They're both very good on the ground. I think I might actually, as you said, I'll give the submission game, if you want, over to Craig as an advantage, but not by much. So I don't see a whole lot of advantages for Paul Craig in this fight. I think he's taken on a younger, faster guy who is used to that weight class, and being 6'4" isn't going to change anything. Losing 20 pounds is going to change a lot.
I'm going to go with Paul Craig in the first round, maybe first round, maybe first round and a half. I'm saying, but I think if Paul Craig's going to win, he's going to have to win in the first round. After that, I'm going to give it all to Muniz. That's it. I don't see how it's going to go for him after that. We'll see.
Jai Herbert, outstanding stand-up fighter. I love watching Jai Herbert fight against Faraziam. This is one of those ones you look and you go, man, I tell you what. Herbert reminds me a lot of Leon Edwards in the fashion of he came in as a pure striker. He's actually learned to be a defensive grappler, and now he's actually even sometimes kind of using it a little bit. He had the loss to Tybura, but he was giving Tybura hell. He was really fucking having a hell of a fight there and stuff. So I look at that. I think that Jai Herbert against Faraziam, I'm going with Herbert.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what happens to guys like Herbert is they see how far guys like Tybura and those guys have traveled, and I think that it's just lights a little fire under their ass in their training. It motivates them to keep them going because look, I could be there, I could be right there. Yeah. One fight away from the title. I just got to clean up a couple little things here, and then I'll be the man. So I look at Jai Herbert. He's got all the intangibles that you're looking for in a great fighter. It's just a matter of getting out there and fighting smart, picking apart his opponents, and not leaving himself out of position, man. If he can do that without losing a takedown and being stuck on bottom, I think that he's got a good opportunity of getting this fight over with. Yep. Next fight.
You got Davey Grant. Oh no, I'm sorry, Leon Murphy and Joshua Culibao. Culibao is really a good fighter, very exciting. Both guys, Leon Murphy, no losses, just a draw. Yeah. 12-0-1 against 11-1-1, man. It's a great matchup. This is a fight that either guy could win. Both of them very fast. You can't say anything bad about either guy.
No, I think it's gonna be a back and forth battle on the feet. I think a little bit.
Yep.
The speed's gonna play a factor. We won't know until we get in there who is the actual faster fighter. The athleticism get themselves out of position, to put themselves into positions and get themselves back in position after leaving themselves out of position. Does that make sense? Because what they are is they're explosive. They're gonna end up reaching, overextending sometimes because they're gonna try to get in and get out.
Without being
super
touched.
fast. Yeah, without being touched. And that's going to miss, going to leave yourself out of position. So look for a lot of counters in this fight. I'm looking forward to it because you're going to really see who's the faster fighter probably in the first 2.5 minutes. Those first couple of exchanges, you'll know who the faster fighter is. But can they maintain that throughout the duration of the fight is what we're going to see. So it'll be I think it's going to be a really good fight. And what is that? That's the fight that's opening up the pay-per-view. Or it's not pay-per-view, but opening up the card, right? Is that the opening
card
fight?
You're saying?
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Jai Herbert, Faraziam, that makes 5 fights, but sometimes they do 6 fights.
Sometimes they do, but that makes 5 fights, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I think the Davey Grant fight will be the main event for the prelims. Yeah, that'll be the main event on the prelims, Davey Grant.
Davey Grant against Daniel Marcos? If you do that.
Yeah, I think that'll be the main event on the prelims.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
So 6 fights in the main, you're thinking?
Yeah. No, that's only 5, right?
No, we got the main event.
No, that would be 6.
That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That would be 6.
5, 6.
Got it.
So it's
either
Murphy versus Culibao is the prelim main, or it's going to be Davey Grant and Marcos.
Got it. What other fights on this card are you looking at that you think have some implications or looking for?
No implications, but I always love watching Brian Barberena, he's taking on Muradov, Makhmed Muradov, and that's going to be a barn burner fight. Muradov, more technical, good fighter, tough as hell. Barberena just is a dog. I just love watching him fight. So that's the one that's going to be fun.
I don't know how you say his last name, and I've been saying it for the longest time. Is Mark? Is it Diakesi or
Diakesi? Yeah, Diakesi.
Okay. He's a fantastic fighter on the feet. Great fighter on the feet, but he's kind of fallen into this, likes to wrestle now. He likes to get the takedowns. He's starting
to wrestle more.
He likes, yeah, he is. He's wrestling more, which is good. I think it's great.
That's not a bad thing against who he's going to be fighting. Alvarez.
No.
Alvarez can stand up and bang.
Since what? Yeah. It's going to be, but I think that's going to be a good fight. And I like watching Mark fight, man. I was expecting a lot. He's another, one of the feely guys. I was expecting him to really make a run. And for some reason, he just hasn't resonated either with the UFC or he hasn't resonated with the fans, but he just hasn't strung it together long enough to really get people to peak up and get interest in him. So hopefully he gets gets a win streak going on and he can make a run. So we'll see. I enjoy watching him fight.
The one that surprises me is look at number 4. You got Caitlin Vieira all the way down to the prelims at the 4th fight of the night, going up against Bani Khanzat, and you're looking. That's telling that they put her that far down on the preliminaries.
They must have. She must have pissed somebody off.
Yes,
she must.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, click on her. Click on Vieira for me there, Dave. Scrolling down the record. Yeah. So her last loss, she lost to Raquel Pennington.
Yeah.
Had to win over Holly Holm. Had to win over Misha Tate.
Tate.
Yeah. Lost to Santos. Beat Eubanks. And then lost to Aldana.
Yeah.
I mean, she got to win over Kat Zingano and Sarah McMahon, both.
And Sarah.
Good. And Evan Smith.
Yeah. Well, I said she's one of the top bantamweights there is in the UFC, and you look and you go, wow. Yeah.
Here's the thing though, John. At this stage, I think in females MMA, they're looking fight. Look, we've gone through the Hoist Gracie era of females MMA. I think they've already surpassed the Frank Shamrock era of MMA. They're into this later on. They're kind of in the Josh Thompson era of, we're starting to become more well-rounded. Let me give you guys someone you guys might all know, GSP. More of the well-rounded GSP era is more well-rounded, more wrestling, a little bit more striking, spinning back kicks, utilizing head kicks, more tools and and putting it all together. The females MMA is now in that era of MMA. And the UFC remembers those eras. And then when they look back, this is where we're at probably with the females MMA. And now we need to start having these exciting fights. We need to start having, the build up and all these things. They had it for a little bit with the Misha and the Holly Holm and the, and the Ronda Rousey and and those fights and the Amanda Nunes fights. They had it there. Well, now what? They're all gone. I mean, Misha's back right now, but she hasn't made the splash that she was hoping to make. But then you've got, and then Ronda's gone. Potential talk that she's coming back. I don't think she is. And then Holly's kind of on her way out. I'm not trying to speak negative about her, but she's getting older, 41 years old. Now they're trying to stir this up a little bit. Who do we have? The female that is carrying the weight right now for this whole thing is Juliana Pena. The way she's talking right now, I got to be honest, man. Her and Macy Barber, those two, are making this fun.
Did you see Macy Barber now saying, "I'm going to go up to bantamweight"?
Yeah,
I love her.
Yeah. She said, "Well, that's what happened." Juliana Pena was talking trash, and she's like, "All right, well, cool. I guess I'm gonna have to eat a little bit more. I'm gonna get my ass up there and make you what, 2-4 or 2-5 in your last
2-5 your last 6 fights.
Six fights. I thought it was great. Good comeback. But good for her. I'm like that. That's what they're looking for. And Caitlin Vieira doesn't talk a lot of trash, doesn't say a lot of things. And also too, when she fights, she's good. She's technically sound, but there's nothing she does that really stands out.
True.
She got a good jab. She got good takedown defense, but there's not one thing she does that really stands out. And I think that's kind of what they're putting you down on the card because of that. You gotta go out there and make it work. So it's the entertainment business at the end of the day. Now I just talked about the Michael Chandler and the Feely situation, but there's a little bit of a difference. I'm not saying you need to go out there and fight reckless. I'm saying that you got to go out there, and when you notice you've got someone working on their back foot, you got to make more of an emphasis to get them out of there. And she's had plenty of opportunities where when she fought Miesha Tate, she could have potentially got Miesha out of there, but she just chose not to take more chances and put her foot on the pedal, and she didn't do it. And so that's why the fight ended up going, as long as it did. So, all right. Well, hey, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk for the fights this weekend. And, let's go ahead and, talk about one more thing. Go to OnlyFans.com/weighing in, OnlyFans.com/weighing in. Subscribe to us over there. It is free. And John and I, they're about to drop the MVP, what do we call it? Like a little short docu-series on them. They're doing like a little documentary on them, right? It's a small little, piece that they put together, that OnlyFans put together for their athletes. They did one for Cyborg, and they're doing one for MVP. And John and I did the VOs on them. We talk about MVP in detail, about a lot of his past and his present and his potential future. He is now a free agent. He is officially a free agent. And so I'm looking to see, I'm like every other kid that's giddy in the store, just wondering where he's going to go. Is he going to stay with Bellator? Is he going to go to ONE? Is he going to go to the UFC? Is he going to go to PFL? What's he going to do?
How many times have we said, we think all fighters should do this? Absolutely. Go to the point where you can see what your value is. It doesn't mean that you're going to end up leaving, because it could be, the UFC wants you and offers you a certain contract, and Bellator goes, okay, we'll pay that. Yeah. So, but you're going to get more money. Let's see what your value is. That's a good thing.
Yeah, let's hop into that since you guys are on it.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and hop into that. So go ahead, pull it up. What do you got for us there, Dave? The news
I don't have a graphic for it.
Okay.
I don't have a graphic for it, but we'll react to this news.
Yeah, the news is that, look, he's officially throwing a free agency party, which is great for him. So he's going to throw, I believe he's throwing an event, or he did throw an event this last weekend, or it's coming up this weekend, where he's basically a free agent. And he's going to go out there and kind of put his feelers out to all the fighting promotions and figure out what his value is. And so I think we're going to find out here pretty soon whether and look, Bellator still has, I believe they still have the match clause in there, but I can also tell you he's 36. He's fun to watch fight. I love watching him fight. Right now he's still one of my favorite fighters to watch. He's entertaining, and I would love to see him stay, but I understand that he's kind of run his course, in Bellator if he chooses to leave. If the money is there, go where the money is. I've said this I don't know how many times to everyone. I don't care. I would love to have certain fighters. I'm selfish that way. Like, I want to have a lot of the fighters in Bellator because we get to sit cage side and watch them. There's nothing better. Yeah. It's not because I'm biased in terms of, I want them to be in Bellator because, I feel like Bellator is that. No, it's because I actually get a front row seat for free every single time to watch them fight. And I get to talk with them. And I get to talk with them and hang out more. So that's the other thing. And look, it's all for selfish reasons, of course. I just want to, I like to hang out. MVP is one of the nicest guys when you meet him. He's so nice. He's humble. He's soft-spoken. He's the complete opposite of what I am. So I love to hang around with people like that. So it's fun. Look, if he does go to any other organization, and I just hope that he ends up getting the credit he deserves, because he's a lot more difficult of a fighter to fight than people realize. It's just not like I've said this. If he does go to the UFC, I hope the first fight they give him is Stephen Thompson. I doubt that they'll give him that. I doubt it, John. I doubt it. I'm just being honest. I mean, I would love to see it because they're both older in age, 36 and Stephen's 40. Might be 41 now, but 40. But I still look at that fight being, man, that'd be a fun fight. Matchup. But I feel because he had fought so many times for the title and just came up just short, that I think that he is going to they're going to end up giving him like a wrestler. See, like, told you he wasn't that good. See, I told you. They're going to give him a Colby, or they're going to give him a Usman. They're going to give him a fighter like that. What do you think?
I think those guys are going to find out that he's more of a handful than you are anticipating. Look, if there's one thing about Michael that I'll say straight out. First off, Michael's super intelligent, very smart fighter, understands the fight game. has worked to become actually damn good at all ranges of the fight game. And yeah, he's not a submission guy, but he can do submissions. You know, the first damn time I reffed him, he pulled off a damn leg lock, and I was like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
You know, you weren't supposed to do that. And it's like he still has a couple of years where he can be really effective. Really effective. He takes care of himself. He trains his ass off. You know, and if you're talking to him, he'll tell you, I know in the gym where I'm at. He goes, and I know when I'm going to say, it's time. I'm not having an easy time with some of these guys. This is becoming much more difficult. Mm-hmm. That's time for me to leave. But he is an absolute student of the game. He is a great person to talk to. He will sit there. He is one of the kindest people as far as when people come up to meet him and stuff, and the way that he'll interact with them. So he's good for any promotion that he goes to if he ends up going to a different promotion. And on top of that, man, the son of a bitch can fight, and he's fun to watch. His fights are exciting. His last fight, you know, with Bellator, let's be honest, he was fighting Goichi Yamauchi, and I was really looking forward to a great fight. Yeah. And he throws one kick and fucking blows out the patella tendon of Goichi Yamauchi and just cracks his kneecap. And you go, I've never seen a guy that does, you know, just little movements that does immense damage. He broke the skull of Santos back, you know, I'm sorry, Evangelista Santos, the first cyborg. He broke his skull, broke up that entire sinus. I never saw anything like it, man. The guy is dangerous, and I don't care who you put against him. He is a fight. Now, wrestlers are the ones that if you're going to say, how do you beat him? It would be with the wrestler, but the wrestler's got to get in on him, and that ain't easy. He's dangerous.
Yeah, when you look at, you know, I would say, and I'm not trying to throw any shade or disrespect, I'm looking at the age and I'm looking at the timing of if this fight would have happened 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't be saying this. I'd be saying the other way around. But certain fighters, like if you were to put him over to the UFC, Usman he hasn't been utilizing his wrestling as much anymore, and he has slowed down a tiny bit.
He cannot be on the feet with Page.
No, he can't be on the feet with them. The speed,
he cannot be a guy that stays on the feet with fucking Page.
He can out wrestle him. He can out wrestle him.
Yeah.
I want to know how. Yeah, he can out wrestle him. But I also look at guys like Logan Storley, who came out and was like, "Man, this is the fastest guy I'd ever been around." He's like in college wrestling and fighting and everything.
Josh, you know, Logan and Usman used to be training partners.
They still train together. Usman's still over at Cliff every once in a while.
At times. Okay. And you know the wrestling that they do between the two. And they're both, you know, but if you're going to sit there and say who is the better wrestler, there's no doubt who's the better wrestler.
Yep.
But who's the better fighter? I'm going to go with Kamaru Usman.
Yeah.
But Logan Storley will tell you, hey, I've never, ever had anyone that fast against me in my life. He goes, he covered distance that I was like, how did the fuck did you get there?
Yeah.
You know, and that was at 35 years of age. So it's still there. The guy has got speed. He's got length, and he definitely knows how to use the tools that God gave him.
I mean, I'll be interested to hear what Podcast Dave has to say, because if they match him up against Colby, man, that's Podcast Dave's hero. We might be waking Colby up, going, "Hey, Colby, what's going on?" Because what Colby does wrong is he dips his head when he throws his jab.
Dips his head all the time.
He dips his head down and he throws his jab and kind of hangs his head to one side. You got to be careful, man, with the speed of this guy and all these things. Now, don't get me wrong, he can be taken down, but he's also hard to hold down. If you look at the Logan Storley fight, it was a close fight.
Why would you put a new guy in the UFC against Colby, though?
I mean, if he's going to leave because Bellator can match, they're going to have to pay him pretty well. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I think this is how I think he should approach it. He should approach it the same way that Michael Chandler approached it. If you're someone that's already fought for the title a couple times, he came up just short. I believe he was the interim champ for a second, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Who?
And so, MVP. No, MVP.
No,
he wasn't.
Never.
Gosh, I thought he was. Okay. But I'm saying that
when he fought
Storley, yeah, it was for the interim until yep.
He fought twice for the title.
He did.
Twice or once? Hold on. No. When he fought Douglas Lima,
Douglas Lima wasn't the champ at the time.
Wasn't exactly. And when he fought him the first time, that was in the tournament. That was when he was undefeated. That was his first loss.
Yeah, that was in the tournament. And Douglas Lima wasn't the champ yet, yeah.
So he fought for one interim title.
Yep. No, I thought he fought the last time he fought Douglas Lima. That was for the title, wasn't it? No, because he had already lost. Because he wasn't the.
He'd already lost to
Amosov. That's right. Interesting.
Yeah.
But no, I look at MVP. He's gonna be fun for whatever promotion he goes to. If he stays in Bellator, great. If he doesn't, if he goes to PFL or one, he's gonna have fun.
Think about this fight. MVP goes to the PFL and fights Sadabusi.
Yeah, I look at that fight though. I think he beat Sadabusi, but I think he struggles with Karamov. Yeah. I think he struggles with him because Karamov's good on the feet and he can chain wrestle together. I think he struggles with him. The other guy that I think may give him a little bit, depending on if he ever comes back, is Ray Cooper. Only because of the power and he can take damage. Cooper can take shots, like he can walk through stuff, and he's like a pit bull that just walks you down.
He's a tank.
Yeah, he's a tank. So I mean, I'm saying like I give MVP more of the advantage in the movement, the speed, and all the technical stuff. But you can never underestimate the Mike Tysons of the sport. And that's exactly what Ray Cooper is. I love watching Ray Cooper fight. All right, let's go ahead. What other news we got for us there, Dave?
All right, let's hop into this. Actually, we'll do some fight announcements right now. We have UFC in Abu Dhabi confirmed, UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi, and it's
what the hell? What the hell is that?
Well played, my friend.
Charles Oliveira. What is with that? I just love that.
Can I throw something out there?
Yeah, go, man.
And tell me, like, I don't think anybody wants to fight Islam in Abu Dhabi. It just, I don't know. I get that vibe, and that's full. I understand.
Well, you're going into his basic, almost like his hometown.
Yeah, it's like his backyard. I get it. The only thing this is what I think, and I could be wrong, because Charles originally was like, "No, I need time. I need some more time to rest." And I understood, like mentally as a fighter, there's a lot of stress that goes on during the fight camps, and we don't know what's really behind the scenes in terms of like his, family situation, whether it's whatever it is. There could be other stuff that's outside that wants you mentally need to get a break. I'm not saying that's what it was, but some fighters that's like, "Hey, I just need time." Before I step back into a fight where, hey, if I lose, I'm not getting another title shot for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you think? I don't see Charles being this way. I'm just throwing this out here because everyone has kind of been like, no, I need more time, or like look at Volk just had shoulder surgery. I think it was shoulder.
Yeah.
Had shoulder. Yep. Yeah, something like that. He'll be back here pretty shortly. I've had shoulder surgery. It's about a 4-month. You're back training within 3 months. Depending if it's a full labrum tear, if it's just a slap tear in your labrum, a full rotator cuff, all those things are dependent upon. But I don't know how to say this without being disrespectful.
But just say it, damn it. I'll clean it up for you.
Okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Charles got forced into this fight by the UFC because Islam started calling out Leon, started calling out other fighters, and they're like, "Hey, you're making us look bad." They said, "Hey, Charles, take this fight." And I think if Charles is not ready mentally, I could see Charles pulling out of the fight maybe 2 weeks before and being like, look, it's not working for me or whatever. And the UFC going, look, Islam, let's go ahead and just bump you to a week or two, or let's bump you to the next pay-per-view show. I could see that happening. I could see that the UFC putting the pressure on Charles and making him fight. And in him being like, look, I'm not quite ready and having to pull out.
Okay, part
it's not fair. It's not fair to him.
Oh, hold on. When you say there, it's not fair to him. I understand what you're saying. And do I think that they have forced his hand here? I do, because what they went and said was, "Hey, we're going to give you this shot here. Take it or leave it, but you're not getting another one if you don't take it."
Yeah.
And so, well, but that's what a promotion does a lot of the time when they need a fight. They need a fight made. And they've got Islam sitting there as the champ. They know that they want to put him in that card in Abu Dhabi because they know he is going to put butts in the seats. Everyone comes to see him. They all love him. So this is a perfect card for him to be on. And they got to have a good opponent. And you're looking, you go, who else? Based upon, they've got, the BMF with Dustin and Justin coming up. That takes two of the top lightweights out of the equation.
Yeah.
McGregor's out of the equation, just as a name, so that's not going to happen. You got Chandler kind of sitting there, so it's a possibility that you can say, okay, we're going to move Mike Chandler there, but it doesn't make sense to you. Then you've got, where's Dariush is number 4. He just lost. You're not going to get a shot at the title off of the loss unless your name is McGregor. So where are you at? You're stuck. I saw Gamrot actually going out, hey, man, I would love to fight you. Love the honor and you're a stud. But he's trying to put his name out there. But it's going down, in that list that they're in that position. I thought that, Sarukian, I think it's a great matchup.
I think Sarukian.
Great matchup with Islam, but it's not that fight based upon Charles Oliveira's career and his name and that he lost the title to Islam. I understand why the UFC wants it. It makes sense to me. I'm not saying it's nice, but this is the fight business, and the fight business is nasty.
Yeah, I think the UFC deflected away because, like I said, he started calling out Leon. Like, hey, I want Leon in Abu Dhabi. And I think that the UFC is really pushing for the Leon and Colby fight.
Yes.
They want that fight to happen, and then they probably want it to happen in the UK. It would make sense, to have Leon go back there and probably host a pay-per-view there.
Think about how much more time with this fight? 'Cause I honestly believe Dana is the one that really wants this fight. He wants Colby against Leon. Okay, how much more time are you going to give it? I don't know. Well, if you want it in the UK, they have one this week, right? So when's the next UK show? Well, no, when's the next one after? It's going to be at least a couple months.
February. Yeah, January, February.
That's my whole point.
Would think.
I mean, that fight. So how long is it going to be that, Colby hasn't fought since frickin' Masvidal?
That's right.
Has he not?
No, he hasn't. Holy shit, that was a long time ago.
Hell yes, it was. That's why I'm like, this is just rolling in a slow.
Wow. 2020.
Look at that. 2020 March of 2022. It's already been over a year.
Yep.
Way over.
Interesting. So. I mean, I would have liked to have seen the Islam and Leon fight. Would have made for fun. I want to see how Islam performs without having to make that big of a weight cut. I want to see what the difference is in his performances. Because I know how he performs in the gym when he's not worried about weight.
When he's feeling good.
Weight. When he's feeling good, he feels like a fucking animal. And I'm like, man, this guy. I mean, there's video. You see the video of Habib when he's around, when he's training with Luke Rockhold, when he's not having to cut weight. He's holding Luke down. He's controlling Luke. I'm like, I mean, Islam is no different, man. Like, he's no different. He's a big, strong son of a gun, man. That guy is. Yeah, and I look forward to.
Islam is going to be in that position within the next couple fights. I'm done with 55. He loses too much weight.
I think he's going to have to. He's going to have to. I think after watching the last fight and him slowing down in the 4th and 5th, being a champion, going 3 rounds, you can get away with it. But when you get into the title fights and you get in the 4th and 5th rounds where everyone's fucking tough, you can't afford to be running out of gas. Your muscles can't afford to be running out of gas in the 4th and 5th.
Nope.
You need to have that the whole time because these guys can go. The gas tanks are there and they can go. And so, I know he's got a gas tank because I mean, like I've sparred with him when I've done the first 2 rounds. Someone came in and did 2 rounds and I finished with him on the 5th round. Like he's still got gas. So I know he's always in shape. It's just that weight cut gets you.
That fight with Volkanovski, if you honestly look at the fight, it's not a difficult fight to judge as far as rounds. you know who wins what rounds. But it's the way that the fight ended and the way that Volkanovski looked in that 5th round and the way that Islam looked in that 5th round that made it to where everyone goes, oh, Volkanovski won that. Well, you can take, moral victories out of it and stuff, but he didn't win enough rounds. But he definitely won the 5th round, and the whole point of everyone as they look at it, well, if there would have been a 6th round, Volkanovski definitely would have won that, right? Well, you would think, based upon the way they looked, yeah. And you don't want to be in that position in a fight with another great fighter. You're tired. Being tired is the worst thing ever.
That's true. But yeah, let's also remember that fight happened in Perth. It wasn't like it was in Abu Dhabi. Okay. Like it happened in Perth. So, no, but I wonder, John, if we're going to see Charles get into the camp going, okay, look, I'm being pushed into the situation, and be like, God forbid he gets hurt. But I'm saying, like, I'm not ready for this right now. Like, there's a lot being forced. Like I said, I was almost forced a couple times into taking fights I didn't want. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm 36 years old. What am I doing? No, I've earned it. I've earned the right to say, no, I'm not taking that fight. I'm not doing it. I've fought everybody you put in front of me. I'm not doing it. Charles Oliveira has fought every single person you put in front of him.
No doubt.
This is the potential chance of him not getting another shot at the title for a long time if Islam keeps the title for a while. And so if you lose 2 times to the same guy, and depending on how he loses, I see this fight being a lot closer this time. This will not be a one, and I called it last time. This will not be a 1 or 2 round finish. This is gonna be a knockdown drag out.
Every now and then you get lucky, and you called that one pretty well. I'll give it to you.
Oh, this guy. Hey man, I won $600. Don't forget that. Not on betting on my friends, but
Yeah.
I won $600 on the Duplessis Whitaker fight. Just remember that. Yeah. So, but no, I look at this is gonna be a lot tougher fight. I think mentally Charles needs to prepare for it. He needs to understand. I think he knows that if I don't win this fight, it's gonna be a long time before I get back here. And this is life-changing money. This is very important. This is not just like, okay, fucking be forced into doing it. No, man. Like, I get why wants to take the time. I get it. And I also get why he doesn't want to fight him in Abu Dhabi, because Islam's already there right now training. He's already there focusing on what's next. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe you get 2 weeks out or 2.5 weeks out. It's like, yeah. I'm not feeling it, or is it, and pulls out. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Yep. I'm not saying Charles will do that. I'm just saying that it wouldn't surprise me. Just mentally understanding what's at stake, and like, hey, I need more time.
I don't think he's in a position where he can do that unless he has a righteous injury. I think he doesn't get hurt. He can't pull out of that. Huh?
Either way, I think it's gonna be a great fight, though. I think it's gonna be a longer fight than the first one.
Yeah.
But then you stack this fight on top of it. What do you think?
Oh, this is there was the question, and Paulo's name got pulled off the UFC's websites and everything. You're like, what is going on with this? But finally, you have Paulo Costa coming out, and he's got a matchup with Mr. Chimaev, and that's going to be a great matchup at middleweight. It's going to be where Chimaev is absolutely going to be looking to take Paulo off of his feet. But a lot of people have done that. He's not an easy person to just get off of his feet. If he comes prepared, that's a great matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun fight, because we're going to see, like, Paulo Costa, he's got good takedown defense when he's not being lazy and hasn't had a glass of wine the night before. He's got good takedown defense. He's explosive, and he definitely has the power.
With anyone.
Yeah, kind of gives you that REM sleep that you need, right? Takes you right into it. He's just, we're gonna see which one shows up. If we see the one that fought Yoel Romero, then man, I mean, this is gonna be a barn burner of a fight, man. It's gonna be a fantastic fight. I'm looking forward to it. But
what was his last fight? Luke Rockhold.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and he was out for a while before that fight.
Yeah, he was. But I'll tell you what, in altitude, he put on a hell of a fucking fight.
Yeah.
Hell of a fight.
I forgot it was at altitude. That's why I was in Denver.
Yeah. No, Utah.
Oh, it was Utah. You are right. It was Utah. Salt Lake City.
Yep.
Damn. But this is gonna be a fun fight. You put Chimaev on that card with Islam. I mean,
oh yeah.
I would imagine that the Sheik's already bought all the tickets. It's all sold out. it's done.
All sold out. Yeah.
Or they build a little 200-seat arena. It's just them. It's just them. Oh man. But this, I mean, it's stacked. Just those two fights is good enough for me. Fantastic card. Fantastic card so far. It's gonna be a good. I won't mind paying for it. Not just because it's Islam and but I'm saying this. I'm looking forward to it. You know what? I gotta toot someone's horn real quick though. Is Chael P. Sonnen. He said this a long time ago. He said this like over a year and a half ago. He said Paulo Costa is gonna fight, or maybe a year ago. He said like, hey, Paulo Costa is gonna fight Chimaev in Abu Dhabi. He did this whole video about it all. He's and then remember Paulo Costa was supposed to fight someone else. And then that fight, he just pulled it off. He just came out of it. Didn't fight that person as of recently, and now he's going to be fighting Chimaev. So I know Chael doesn't need to get a bigger head than he normally does. Hold on. Guess what?
Well, no, I just want to make sure that I got this right because you're giving props to Chael, and that's great. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
But are we gonna give props to him? Like these couple times when he's right, what about all the times when he's absolutely fucking wrong?
Oh man, he's never been wrong. He's undefeated, never lost a round. Like
never made a mistake.
Never. Nah, we've hung around Chael enough to know this. That's the reality of it. He's never lost a round. He's
some
undefeated.
People are born perfect.
I know. I'm sorry. I was just blessed that way. I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
All right,
Next one, Dave.
What else you got for us, Dave?
All right, let's hop into some news now. We got Umar injured in the Corey Sandhagen fight.
Let's pull up the video real quick. He posted on his Instagram. There it is. Yeah. Good job, Dave.
Yep.
Dave's on it today. So he throws a little short jab right there. Yep. It just got clipped right inside, and the way the other guy moved, just caught the arm and the shoulder. Yep, right there.
You know what it proves, though? You know what it proves?
That he is human.
Just like he tried to tell everyone, look, I'm human. I'm human. Come fight me. And this is what happens. Yep, he is human. He can get hurt like anyone. It's just, that's part of training. It's just, and that's how fast it happens. Not doing anything real hard, not going crazy. But, just, that's fighting. I feel bad for him and stuff. That would have been a great fight with him and Sandhagen. I was looking forward to that. But you know what? Heal up, get yourself back, and we'll see it later on down the road.
That sucks. I was looking forward to that fight. I was scared, but I was looking forward to it because Sandhagen's the one that I was like, man, he's the guy that doesn't make a lot of mistakes on the feet, and he's very mentally focused on the game plan.
Did you see that damn picture of Corey Sandhagen with Cub Swanson standing right next to him? Corey Sandhagen's 135.
Yeah.
Cub Swanson, most of the time 145. And then there was, I want to say 185 pounder. Well, Justin Gaethje was 155 pounds standing there too. Goddamn, Corey's bigger than all of them.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, I've had stories, man. I've had stories of fighters that trained at AK, and they said, I was training out there, wherever Corey trains. Where's he train at? He trains at
Elevation.
But with Usman and those guys. But what's the head coach's name? Trevor Whitman.
Trevor.
Yeah,
Whitman.
so he trains with Trevor Whitman. So he's like, he had two AKA guys went out there. And they were training. They were just doing some sparring. These guys are good wrestlers, wrestled out of Oklahoma. And they were there. They were just passing through. Hey, got about a week and a half of training out there. And then, man, both these guys fight at 55. And they were training, and they go, who the hell is that little guy right there? He's fucking piecing me up. And this was like before they had known who Corey was in the UFC. This was like years ago. And they're like, this little guy was just touching me and touching me and touching me. He's like, and then even when we took him down, he was able to get back to his feet. He had a good little hook, TK guard, the little hook sweeps and stuff. He was good at getting back to his feet. They're like, this little shit. And they're like, literally, like after they got to AK, probably like a couple months later, they saw him fighting in the UFC. Like, yeah, it makes sense. But then they were surprised though, too, that he was fighting at 135. They're like, wow, we thought he was bigger because he's so tall. Yeah. And they're like, no. Started laughing, but I was cracking me up, man. it's just funny because we hear stories like that all the time about, yeah, I went to go train. That's how the whole thing with Cain Velasquez became. No one would fight him. So that's why the UFC ended up signing him after one fight, because no one would fight him. King of the Cage tried to get fighters to fight him. Who was it? Strikeforce. We were having a hard time. What's this? What's that?
2 fights. He fought in Strikeforce, and then he fought in Bodog.
Oh, Bodog. That's right, Bodog.
I want to say it was St. Petersburg, Florida.
Yeah,
I mean, St. Petersburg, Russia.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fought in Bodog. That's correct. You are correct. Yeah, that's right. He just, that's how that whole thing happened. Like the same thing with Corey. Like people come in and they tell us stories. People would come in and train. Heavyweights would all come in from all around to train with Cain, to train at AKA. And they would be like, oh yeah, you guys have any heavyweights? Yeah, we have this young guy come in, and they're just getting fucked up by him. Like, and there was like, man, this guy he's got one fight.
Yeah, like, it doesn't do a lot for your confidence.
No, you're like, jeez. And they're like, yeah, I've got like 18 fights and this and that. I've been fighting for a while, and we had UFC guys coming. Like, look, Paul Winatella was there. Mike Kyle was there. I mean, we got Mike Van Arsdale was there. None of them wanted to spar with his ass. So, all right, next, what else you got for us?
All right, next story here. Jake Paul had offered Nate Diaz $10 million to fight in MMA and PFL after the box. Nate Diaz says it's going to cost more than that for that fight to happen. But what do you guys think about going from boxing right into MMA and doing a fight like that in the PFL? Nate's kind of also insinuating he's going back to the UFC, but we don't know about that.
Well, I think that was Nate's whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nate had a plan from the very start of what he wanted to try to do. He was gonna fight out his contract. He was gonna get this big money fight with Jake Paul, and then he's going to go back to the UFC and finish off a trilogy with a guy named Conor McGregor.
Yeah, I don't see.
That's where all the money's at.
That's perfect timing for both of them. I think yep. Conor by then, he'll be beefed up a little bit more by then. Hopefully USADA tested, and then Nate will come back down. Maybe they'll fight at 185. Why even bother cutting weight? Let's just fight at our natural weights.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're looking like weight wise. I would be surprised if they're at 170, which is where they met both times, and which is really neither one of their weight classes. But I look at this with Jake Paul and stuff, and it's like, hey, Jake says a lot of things as far as I just got to learn to kick and stuff. Dude, you've been kicking bags for the last 3 fucking years. I've watched.
Yeah,
it doesn't take that long to learn how to kick.
Doesn't matter. He still can't find ways to fight someone in his weight class.
Someone his own weight,
in his own age. That's the other thing, So it's like he wants the lighter guys that are older. It baffles me. But whatever. Hey, we're gonna see this boxing match, and maybe John and I will be making an appearance down there.
Ooh, let's go.
All right, what else you got for us there?
All right, let's wrap up on this funny one. We got Alex Pereira and Glover Teixeira wrestling in a river.
What the hell is going on? He's drowning.
Oh, man. John, you know what they say, right?
Yep.
It's only gay if you make eye contact.
That's right. There was the beautiful picture of Shogun Rua and Vanderlei Silva on the mats at Shootbox. And that thing went viral forever with. It's only gay if you make eye contact. Well.
Yeah, these two, they're obviously best friends, training partners, all this stuff, and Glover.
But how cold that goddamn river's got, those streams got to be.
I wonder. They must have filmed it recently, so I don't know where. It's got to be warm water, not cold. That's not super. It's not winter
warm water. That is still snow coming down out of the mountains. Water.
You think so?
Cold. Oh yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
2 weeks until the fight. How do you think he does against Jan?
I'll tell you what. I think if Jan tries to stay on the feet, he's in trouble. And that's always been Jan's, Jan likes to, Polish power and all that stuff. I think Jan's best road to victory in this is to utilize, that grappling, same as he did against Israel. Put him on the ground and just beat him up on the ground as much as you can. Take away some of that speed, some of that energy. You're not the better stand-up fighter. Don't try to be.
Can Jan get him to the ground?
Yeah, he can. Because Jan uses, and it's all about timing and everything, but Jan utilizes basically, a blast double. It's, a tackle. But he's good with it. And he turns the corner on it, and he gets, position on guys. And so he can. he can get different things out of the clinch and stuff, and he'll work the clinch and get down into a single leg and run the pipe on guys. But he's really good with that blast. Yeah, we'll see what he does. But both guys can win. But I think that water is definitely not warm.
It looks warm, man.
Right,
it looks super warm.
Warm my ass. That's a cold plunge.
Oh shit! If he utilizes what?
This is where you how did he get injured? He got stabbed by a branch as they were doing
Right.
jujitsu in the stream.
Yeah, you couldn't find a better spot. Come on, guys. Come on. All right, well, hey, guys, that's going to wrap up our show for this week. This is our midweek show. I know we dropped it a little bit late. I was getting some final things done, wrapping up in California, getting the rest of my stuff over here to this house. I want to thank you guys so much for supporting us, being patient with us. And before we leave you guys, go to weighingInMerch.com, pick up some of our gear, and our merch is available there. We don't give discount codes because it's already pretty damn cheap. So go to weighingInMerch.com, pick up some of the merch there, post a picture of yourself wearing it. I want to thank you guys. And before, the last thing I want to say, we kind of got away from it, John, but I'm going to bring this shit back. Hashtag and still. We are the and still champ of the #1 podcast in combat sports. Make sure you guys tell everybody about it because people that know, they know. Just let them all know again. All right. Hashtag and still. Go ahead, John. Take us away, bud.
I can't beat anything he said. So for everyone out there, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you.